So how you doing? It is a fantastic day out here today, and I've just been kind of sitting here in the shade and enjoying it myself, and I decided, you know what? I'm just sitting here. Let's go ahead and get some work done. But I didn't want to leave my nice shady spot. So yeah, I got a little creative and we're gonna mill some lumber. So here we go. Let me show you what I did. So if you take a look there, I got a log up on the forks. I put a chain at the bucket. You see the chain on the bucket? I did that to help keep it from creeping. It doesn't seem to creep on the up and down, just on the rolling part of the bucket. So that chain has been holding it in place good for probably good 20 or 30 minutes. So I don't think I'm gonna have an issue there. And I got my two saws lined up here. We got, both of them are clones. Both of them are the Holtzforma clones. The blue one, if you ever see the blue one, that's the one Bellhopper built me. And then the other one there, that's the one I've been running on the mill. I bought it on eBay for like 200 bucks. It had a bad top end on it, so I put a big bore top end on it. Base gasket delete. No port work at all. It's just a base gasket delete, and that's what I'm using on the mill. Now, I'm no expert at this chainsaw milling thing. I've only done, like 2 days worth of milling so far, which really was only a couple of hours. So I'll just kind of show you some things that I'm doing here and kind of, I don't know, bring you along for the ride. So here, I hope you enjoy this. Log some length at the other end, because that's the skinny side. You know what I mean? So I'm going to cut the skinny side to get my length. That way I have more wood to work with. That's what I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to cut the knots off, cut it to length, and square this up. We're going to use that blue 372 hopper build. All right, so that's pretty much all there is to getting her set up, really. Figuring out some of this stuff, along the way. Now they do get a little, flexible side to side. Then you could always add another board here, laying it flat this way to take that flex out. I don't want to do that because, I could have left this knot here and just, ran right over top of it. It gives me more room here to get the big knots and the uglies. She gets a little flexible on the cut. You'll see when I'm making the first cut, they'll move on you. All right, now I'm going to work at getting this height set up. I think I'm going to aim for 5 inches on my first cut. That should get me below the 2x4 and the piece of aluminum there, I'm hoping. Now there are measurements on here that you can go right to the 5-inch mark. If I remember correctly, they're not exact. I think they're pretty close. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna do a quick test fit just to make sure the chain clears that piece of aluminum going sideways there. I wanna make sure my depth's about right. All right, my depth's good. I got plenty of room. I could probably actually go just a little less than that, like a 1/4 inch less or so, but I'm happy with that. Now we gotta get the saw fired up and make our first cut down the length of that. Alrighty. All right, I just need to take that rail back off and the first piece is off. Now this is where you have to make a decision. If you're going to cut this, just keep making slices and keep your live edges, or if you want to turn it into dimensional lumber. So basically all I'm doing here, I got the one screw in, I'm just squaring it off from the first cut I made to that aluminum there. All right, I'm ready to mill this off. But I'm basically going to repeat that process until I have all 4 sides done. All right, so now as I set it up, I'm squaring off this edge, but I'm also measuring the distance from here to here and here to here, and making sure it's the same on this end as it is on that end. I can tell you, I mean, just from looking at it, I could tell you that that last cut I made is not perfect. So she's slightly off, and we just keep working it, make it as good as we can. I mean, we're using a chainsaw here, so it's not going to be perfect. You know what I mean? We're just going to kind of get her as close as we can and kind of keep working her down until we get her. All right, so the last time I measured 11 inches from here to the metal. This time here I can only get 10.5. I started out at 11 here, but I couldn't get it down there. So I put it at 10.5, and I had to come back here and put this side at 10.5. I'm basically trying to make my cut, get my block as big as possible. And then after I get this squared off, I'll start figuring out where I want to make all my cuts to turn this into my lumber. My boards came from my 2x4s. Can you see it? Down the length there. You see where bows? I think that came from my 2x4s, using the 2x4s to try to keep a straight cut. I bet a better set of rails would help me in the long run for making better cuts. I think the 2x4s are just too flexible to get really good, perfect dimensions, you know what I mean? But for what I'm doing, they're working just fine. You know what I mean? Now I need these, I need them 3/4 of an inch thick. Most people would cut them at 1 inch and then run them through a planer. The thing is, I don't need to run this through a planer. I mean, this is all I need. I think I want to set the saw up to run closer to a 3/4 inch cut and just start whacking them off. Well, there's what we look like so far. I had to stop. The muffler bolt came loose, so I'm just letting her cool down so I can fix it. But now that I'm at this point, as you can kind of see, this is like the center, and when the grain is running this way on the wood, it'll be more, a higher likelihood of it splitting. So what I think I'm going to do is flip it over and start working from the other edge. And, maybe this much will be my waste wood, and I won't have it in. So we'll see how she works out. Well, there we go. An afternoon hanging out, making up some lumber. I think we're gonna end up with 10 of these boards by the time I'm done. Looks like, because that one's the fourth one. Probably 8 to 10 boards till we're done. Maybe 8. So, 8 1x10s it looks like we're going to end up with. Completely happy with that. I need a bunch. I'm probably going to need 50. I don't know. How many would I need? Yeah, probably every bit of 50 of them. So, I got a lot of them to get here. I got 4 logs ready to go, ready to get milled up, and I'm just going to keep working at them until I get everything I need. If I need more logs, then I need more logs. But yeah, this is all going to be for the shop. I'm basically I think what I'm going to do is board and batten the exterior of the shop. So that's why I'm not really worried about the finish of it, running it through a planer and everything. It's just going to get cut to length and slapped on the wall. If we end up with different sizes, some at are 12 inches wide, some at 8 inches wide or whatever, I'll probably just leave it at that and kind of mix and match the width of the board as I go down the wall. It ain't gonna hurt nothing to have some wider than others. So yeah, I'll probably just leave it as is. But yeah, hey, I hope you enjoyed this one. Little work with the mill here in the shade, and you know what, it made for a good afternoon. So hope you enjoyed this little one. Probably not for everybody, we're just milling up some lumber, but hey, it is what it is. Catch you on the next one. Later.